What's going on, everybody? Spaceballs here. Welcome back to another Awakening Chaos Era video. Alright, today we're going to talk about the current state of the game. Is Awakening going to make it? Is it dying? I thought this would be a fun video to do today, being that I actually caught the flu 3 days ago. I thought I had the thing. I don't want to say the actual name of it. That's why my voice sounds like this. Probably sounds like shit. So I thought this would be a fun video to do today. We're going to do some summons. We're going to open some of our Party of 3 chests. And we're going to talk about the current state of Awakening. Being that there were some videos made about people quitting the game, why they're quitting the game, all that great stuff. So let's just get right into this one. We're going to do some summons, we're going to open some chests, and we're going to talk about the current state of the game, in my opinion, and if Awakening even has a chance going forward. So the first point I want to bring up, which is a con about the game, is that it's had 4 betas, and we're in a 2-month soft launch. At least we all think it's going to be a 2-month soft launch. We actually don't have a release date yet, and I think it's a big mistake to put a game through 4 betas and then a 2-month soft launch, where only certain people can play the game on an APK and only if they have Google and all that stuff. It holds the game back tremendously, and it actually turns a lot of players off at the same time, especially not giving us a distinct release date for when the game's actually going to come out. That could definitely cause a big issue going forward. And another issue is the PR behind the game. There's been some rumors going around, or some people saying that they're not going to PR the game. There will be no ads coming out with global launch. They won't be paying YouTubers to play the game, which that part is fine. But I feel like the devs should know, especially these devs, because they seem to be really knowledgeable and smart, and they listen to the community. They do the right things. They are making adjustments, AI adjustments. Everything we ask for, we seem to be getting. So I feel like the devs are smart enough to know that if they don't PR the game, eventually the game will slowly tick death. I mean, even now there's whales that are slowly just leaving the game. And yes, there's new players coming in, and that's just from the bigger YouTubers playing the game right now, like Stu and Darth. But eventually that will wear down, just like any other game that I played in the past. Kingdom of Heroes is a perfect example of this. Kingdom of Heroes was a great game, and the devs killed it by not PRing it, and just lack of content, all of that stuff. So I feel like the devs should know that if they don't plan on PRing the game in any kind of way, the game is already dead. I think that's a known fact. And the thing about it is, most of us smaller YouTubers are just smaller creators in general. We like to play new games. Obviously, we can go out there, we could play a already established game and probably make it way faster than if we played these new games every 6 months. Because if you go back and look through my channel, you'll see that every 3 to 6 months we're switching games because the current game that we're playing tends to die. There's so many things that need to happen for a game to be established and just be able to blow up and go past the hype stage. Because what happens is, a game has its hype stage, a bunch of creators will jump on the hype, they'll make a couple videos, and they'll move on to the next ones, especially bigger creators that are doing this on their second channels. If they don't get a certain amount of views by a certain amount of time, they move on to the next one and the next one. They make first impression videos and they just keep moving on. That's just the way it is. The thing with a smaller creator is, or a creator that has a full-time job and they're not doing this as their full-time, revenue, where they don't need to make money off of doing this. Someone like me, for example, where it doesn't matter if I make money or not. I tend to stick to games a lot longer than a established creator would. And that could be a good thing or a bad thing for me ever making this into a full-time job. But I only play games that I like, and for example, this game, I absolutely love it. I think it does have potential, but I don't think it's going to have any potential if the devs just kind of stomp on their foot and say, we're not going to PR the game no matter what. We're going to just stick to our small niche whale community, and we're going to cater to them and hope that they stay around forever and keep the game funded, which will never happen, because no matter what they do, slowly over time, the game will tick whale death. It's just an inevitable thing that you have a community of whales, and yes, that's a great thing. And yes, some of them will stick around forever, but most of them won't. They're going to move on to the next hype train. So yes, you might have those whales now, and they might be funding the game, but over time, they're slowly going to tick away. And that's just the way it is for any gacha game, unfortunately. And the problem is, a lot of these new games think that they could just survive, or they only need to make a certain amount of money, and they're making it. So they're like, you know what? We don't need to spend money on PRing because we're already making the money we need. But that's only going to be a short-term solution. And also what's going to happen is, creators are going to move on. Bigger creators are never going to play the game because they're not ever going to get the views they want to get, because the game is so small and niche to a small community that it doesn't benefit a YouTuber to play the game, because they're just not going to get the views they need to get to satisfy them playing the game. Even if they absolutely love the game from a financial standpoint, they'll never make it big enough to be able to play that game full time or forever. I know that's a lot to take in, but there was so much to say about that topic, because that really is the depending factor on if this game is going to make it or not. I don't think it matters on how good a game is, honestly. Because you could have the best game in the world with no PR, and unfortunately the game is just not going to make it because there's going to be no new players coming in for all the old players going out. And the thing is, gacha games are like revolving doors. I say this all the time. Wow, we finally got Santis. I can't believe it. I just finished my fusion to get her, and now we pull her, of course. It doesn't matter, though, because I need to get her to Ascension 5 anyways. But yes, finally got Santis, so now I can get her into some content. But like I always tell you guys, gacha games are like revolving doors. There's players always going out, and there's players always coming in. And if you don't advertise your game, you're not going to have enough players coming in for your players going out. I can tell you already, I've switched through my friends list about 5 or 6 times already by putting out the old dead people and bringing in new people. So that just shows you there's people leaving the game every day, which is fine. That's normal for any gacha game on the market. People are going to come and go. They're going to ride the hype train like I told you guys, and then they're going to move on to the next, and new players are going to come in, and then they're going to go out. But the only way to keep up with the revolving door for a company is to advertise the game and get it out there so they always have new players coming in. I'm not saying they need to spend a ton of money doing this. It's honestly not even that expensive for them to just run a monthly ad on YouTube or something like that. I'm not sure exactly how it goes, but I know for like a PR campaign, they could basically have a week's worth of ads on YouTube per month for a certain amount of money. And then in the ads that we get on YouTube, the game can be PR'd that way or something like that. I know it's not that expensive. I feel like these games should look at Raid Shadow Legends, a terrible gacha game, a game that came out terrible and is still kind of terrible in my opinion. Don't hate me too much for saying that. But a game that's not that great but does really, really well because of how they PR the game and how much money they put into advertising to basically stand by their game. And that's another thing too. When a company PRs their game, it just shows that they have faith in their game and they stand by their game and they think their game is going to be longevity. And when a company doesn't PR the game, it makes the player base scared in a way, because then they're like, why isn't this company PRing their game? Do they not want the game to do good? Is it a cash grab? Should we just get out of here? And that tends to be the issue and why players end up leaving a game in a short amount of time, because they don't think the devs are going to do the right thing long term, which is honestly normal for any new gacha game. I mean, let's be honest, guys. I would say 96% of new gacha games do not make it in this genre of gacha games. Since Summoner's War, Epic 7, and all of these, established gacha games that are out there already, most new gacha games just don't make it. It's not because the game is terrible or whatever the case may be. It's just because the company doesn't do certain things that they need to do to keep the game going long term. Because even a game like this, I think it's a really well put together game. They have made some mistakes, yes, but nothing that they can't fix going forward and make the game better. But you think these companies would understand the fact that if they don't advertise the game is not going to make it past a year out. So let's just hope that these devs understand that they need to PR the game. Now, I know there's a lot of rumors going around saying that they're not going to PR the game and all this stuff, but I've heard other things already where things weren't supposed to happen and then they happened. So a lot of this stuff right now is just rumors. Nothing has been said by a dev set in stone. I don't think there was any dev from the company that said we're not PRing this game no matter what. So we kind of have to take it all with a grain of salt and just kind of hang in there and see what happens. I'm willing to stick with the game until it comes out of soft launch into regular launch, and I'm going to wait a couple months, play the game, enjoy it, and see what happens after that. If the game doesn't make it, so be it. You guys know I have no shame in my game. I'll move on if necessary. It is what it is. And don't think I didn't notice that we got 4 epics in a row. I definitely noticed that. And we got Santis, so I was really happy with these summons. I haven't really been paying attention to the summons because I'm trying to get all of this off my chest and share it with you guys so you guys can understand that I don't think the game is dying. I think the game is exactly where it should be, especially for a game that's in a 2-month soft launch after 4 betas. I actually think it's doing a lot better than it should be doing, honestly. And I think that has a lot to do with creators like Stu Gaming and Darth playing the game, and hopefully the devs realize that. The only reason why the game is doing as good as it's doing now is because there is bigger established creators playing your game, and that just goes hand in hand with PRing the game. So hopefully they understand all this and they get it and they realize that no matter what they choose to do going forward, if they don't advertise their game or PR their game, the game will potentially die. Slow death, basically. It'll do good because the game is a well-designed game. It has a lot of great quality of life features. The events have been fantastic, and there's a lot of great stuff here. But the unfortunate truth is, if you don't stand by your product, push it out there, get new players in, it'll just slowly tick death. Like, look at this event. If you're free to play, you can go to 4,000, get the Epic Ascension. You honestly do not need to go to 8,000 in this event. You go to 4,000, you're good to go, get your potion, and walk away. Unless you're pay to win, there's no reason to go past 4,000. And I think this is a great way to break up the event, basically free to play, pay to win. If you want the extra rewards, you go to 8,000. If you're just a free to play player, you just stop at 4,000. I think this is a great way to set up the events going forward. And just all the events in general, except for the summoning event, they've all been triple S tier events. And even with that, there's still whale players walking away from the game. I'll show you an example of it on my friends list. I think I kept Interpact on my friends list. So let me scroll down and find him. So yeah, 7 days ago, he signed in. He was level 53, I think, almost 10 days ago. So he was definitely whaling out, spending money or spent money in the betas, and he still quit the game. And he's not the only person. There's just so many people that have quit the game at a high level. And that could be due to some videos that have been put out there basically saying the game is not going to make it. And the dev said they're not going to PR it. But again, no dev has actually came out and said that they're not going to advertise the game. So we can't say they're not or they're going to. And again, things can change. Even if they say they don't want to, they can end up doing it. We really don't know. And we won't know until the game comes out in its global launch. So let's talk about some great things about the game. And Party of 3 is one of them. Even though they nerfed it, I still seem to get at least one chest per day. And that's because I'm farming 10 to 15 hours per day. And there was also some things being said that the game is not free-to-play friendly. I don't agree with that. And then people will say, well, it's free-to-play friendly up to an extent, but then that means you're not grinding enough. I don't know any game where a free-to-play player can grind over, I would say, 7 to 10 hours per day. Anything past that, it's impossible to be free-to-play and grind that amount. Because I know the argument is if you're not running out of resources, then you're not farming enough. But if you're free-to-play, you have to be smart with your resources and use them where they're most needed. So I don't really get that argument too much. And honestly, the game has been very generous as far as events go and just getting daily gems and all of that stuff to be able to farm for a free-to-play player. The energy system does need work, don't get me wrong. I'm not sticking up for them in that aspect. The energy system right now is a little bit broken and they do need to adjust it before global launch. But I don't think the game is not free-to-play friendly. I definitely think a free-to-play player can get about 5 to 10 hours a day worth of grinding without spending a dime. Yes, it could use a little bit of tweaking, and the bread system definitely needs some help, but I definitely do think the game is free-to-play friendly, a lot more so than most other gacha games on the market. So I don't really understand that argument, saying that there's not enough resources for a free-to-play player. It doesn't matter what game you're referring to, whether it's Epic 7, Summer's War. If you want to grind 15 to 20 hours per day, you're going to have to buy the energy pack somewhere down the line. That's how these games are designed. They're not going to let you just grind endlessly for free. They want to make money somewhere, and that's fine. That's how it should be. But if you're a free-to-play player, you could definitely grind this game for 5 to 10 hours per day without spending a nickel or a dime or a penny. So let's go for the weapon and see if we can't get some good substats. Come on, bless me. Health, focus, defense, crit damage. For warrior set, not good. I mean, if it rolls all crit damage, we can make use out of it, but probably not. So let's go for a ring since I don't have much of this set. I usually like to go for weapons, rings, or necklaces. Helmets and bodies I don't really care too much about. I'd much rather go for the weapon, ring, or necklace. That's just the way I am when it comes to Party of 3. So let's see what we got. Attack percentage, not terrible. Speed, resistance, attack, and health. I'll definitely find use for this somewhere. Probably on a broken set, of course. I really didn't want attack percentage. I'd rather have crit damage where I am in the game right now. But that's okay. I'll live with it. Let's just fly through these. So we did the ring. Let's go for a set of boots since we have 2 of this set. Defense, not happy about that. We definitely don't want defense boots. There's only one character in the game right now, Hankerin, that is defense based. So it's really hard to get use out of defense boots. I really am lacking boots. So let's go for boots again and see if we can't get some speed boots. Come on, speed boots. Yes, we got speed boots. Health, attack, crit damage, health. If this rolls double health or attack and health, these could be really, really good. Happy with speed boots. I don't have any 6-star speed boots. This is my first set of 6-star speed boots. So I will take it. Happy with that. Doesn't matter what the substats are. Just to get my first set of 6-star legendary speed boots. That's amazing. Ooh, a focus necklace. I've been wanting one of these 6-star legendary accuracy / focus necklaces. So I'll definitely take this. Not the best substats, but it does have speed. If this can roll double or triple speed, this will be fantastic. We're doing really, really good again. Seems that we always get pretty decent luck when it comes to the Party of 3 gear. And that's because I save it up by week. Everybody was asking me in the comments on the last Party of 3 video why I save my gear up and I don't open it right away. I don't know. I like to do that at the end of the week, see how many chests I get, and then open them all at the same time. I just feel like doing it this way, instead of getting a bad piece of gear every couple days, at least I can open it all at once and then I'll get like 2 or 3 usable pieces of gear and it just feels better to me. I know it's just in my head, but it just feels better that way. Let's go for a ring for the last one, see if we can't get a crit damage ring. Come on, crit damage. And I misclicked again. So we're going to have to go here and check and see what we got. So this was the ring. Defense. We got a lot of defense. So we did really bad with the weapons this time. Last time I did my Party 3 opening, all my weapons were like god tier weapons. where they had perfect substats and they rolled really well. But overall, good opening, can't complain. So to wrap this one up and talk about my thoughts on the game and where I think the game is going. So for me, I absolutely love the game, but I know in the back of my head, if they don't PR the game and they don't get this game at a soft launch soon, the game is not going to have much of a future. It's just going to be like many other games that I've played. So I'm not new to games dying or not making it. I do think this game has a lot of potential. I hope the devs are listening to us when we say that they have to PR the game if they want the game to do good going forward, or if they want the game to survive. I'm not saying they need to go out there and pay creators to play the game. That is not necessary at all. But they do need to put ads out there for the game, just like any other gacha game that's established or any other gacha game that does well. It's because they stand by their product and they advertise it and they keep players coming in for the players that are coming out. Any company that is satisfied with a small niche community and thinks that a small group of whales can keep their game running and going and they're happy with that amount of money, that means the game is already dead before it even started. As much as I hate to say that, that is a bad way for a company to look at their game. If they're just happy with the game making a certain amount of money and that's it, they don't care about anything else, then the game is dead before it already started. As much as that pains me to say, again, there was also things being said that there's way too much content in the game for a game just being released. I think that's BS. It's just content that's there. If you want to do it, you don't have to do it. The game is not forcing you to do it. It's not forced into your quest or anything like that. It's just stuff that you could do if you want to, but you don't have to do it. So I think having a lot of content is a great thing for a game on its release date. It just shows that going forward, we're going to get even more content, which is going to keep the game fresh and hype and not get boring, because you could do something different every day. You can grind this one day, grind this another day, and it just keeps the game fresh and fun, in my opinion anyways. But I want to know what you guys think about all of this stuff. Is the game dying? Are you enjoying the game? Do you plan on quitting? What do you hate most about the game? I'd love to hear what you guys have to say, so comment down below and let me know what you're thinking. Thank you guys so much for the support here on YouTube. We are so close to 5,000 subs. Once we reach it, we will start another sub celebration. If you want to follow me on Twitch and Discord, those are always linked down below. We do 2 monthly giveaways on Discord, random giveaways on Twitch. I'll also be giving away battle passes for the rest of this week on Twitch. I haven't streamed the last couple of days because I had the flu, but I will be streaming, I think, Sunday and Monday, and we will be giving away battle passes, so hope to see you there. If you want to be a part of the random giveaway that we do here on YouTube, all you have to do is sub to the channel, like and comment on my past 10 videos, and that will automatically enter you to the random giveaway. I pick those winners on Discord. I truly do love each and every single one of you. I will see you in the next one. Spaceballs out. Peace.